So today we're going to be talking about Ignition Launchpad, which is near and dear to my heart. We spent quite a bit of time developing this, and now we would just want to share it with the world. So we will go through this today. We are going to get to the point of doing a live demo, which is never recommended by people, but I'm crazy enough of let's do it on a webinar. Live demos are the way to go. But first, let's explain what Ignition Launchpad even is. These are pre-built, fully functional, ready to go on a production floor type of projects. And there are two of them that we're going to be explaining today. Launchpad also comes with full instructions, manuals, step-by-step tutorials, and they are video tutorials. Makes it very easy. There's also written documentation, tips, there are sales tools. It comes with literally everything that you need to make it a reality, as well as it even goes to the level of depth of having full PowerPoint presentations that you could download that are about the two Ignition Launchpad projects that are sales ready. You could show them to a client. And all of this free, completely free. So these are the two that we'll be going through. There's the KPI dashboard and an OEE performance style screen. And behind all of this, hopefully everybody knows what Ignition is, but in case you don't, let's do a quick overview of this industrial automation platform. One of the biggest features about Ignition is its unlimited licensing model. And we'll get into this a little bit more in some of the future slides, but it is the main differentiator of why I got into the platform originally, and one of the main differentiators still to this day. Server-centric web development and deployment, meaning that yes, it could be deployed from any browser anywhere. Modular configurability so that you can just purchase whatever you need for that project. Cross-platform, Windows, Linux, Mac, iOS, and Android. And it's the Swiss Army knife connector that you can connect to any major PLC or database. It is the same designer, whether it is Edge, standard, or cloud. No matter what application you're doing, you are working out of the same design space. And it's built on open standards as well as best-in-class IT and OT standards. So all of that leads to it is rapid development as well as rapid deployment. And that is what Launchpad is built on. It's just an Ignition project and application. When we talk about unlimited, and you're going to see me come back to this over and over again as a part of this presentation today, it really matters. It is the difference of it's giving you unlimited tags, unlimited history, unlimited screens, unlimited users, unlimited connections, also unlimited reports, unlimited mobile clients, all of it. It's just unlimited. And this changes the way that you use an application. It changes the way that your customer experiences the application, and it changes what you'll be able to add on to it in the future. And 16 years ago, this was revolutionary. It was first in the industry of a company that was willing to do this and go all in of one price, unlimited. And I thought in the last 16 years, some of the other major people would have caught up and started doing it, but they didn't. And I have no clue why. So, still a major benefit, and we will take it as long as it can stay that way. The next thing to know about Ignition is that it's for multiple different application types. It's probably most famous for SCADA and HMI, but man, back since 2013, it's MES, it's enterprise, it's been getting into digital transformation over the last 5 to 7 years, data ops, IoT, and tons of other applications, all built in the same exact software. And there are so many industries that it plays in. This is just a tiny, tiny fraction. Almost any industry that you could think of, Ignition is going to play there. Of course, there's a ubiquitous screen that shows off some major client names. For these are just a fraction of a fraction. There are thousands of names that you would recognize. There's over 88,000 installations, but you got to show off that screen at least a little bit. The next thing is that we should go through with the Ignition Launchpad projects. This is the KPI one in specific of what's in it. What does it actually do? So the first thing to understand, and this will give you some context for what we go through in the demo, there are ad hoc dashboards that the user can completely configure, edit, change, all from the client session that is running. So the user can do that directly on screen. You don't even have to get into the designer. There are multiple different types of KPI widgets that you are able to use, trending and alarming tools for the application. It's just an Ignition project, so you can customize anything about the Launchpad application, as well as add on to it anything in your heart's content in that Ignition project. It has both real-time and historical data. Of course, it's mobile responsive, meaning that it can run on any tablet, phone, TV, laptop, random HMI screen, anything that you want to do. It's HTML5 mobile responsive, so it's going to auto size to the device. As well as you can make that data accessible to everyone, and it's built for multiple different use cases, which I'll try to explain when we're going through the demo. So those are the features. This is the look and feel. Again, I want to give you a little bit of context before we get into the demo, just so that it's familiar and it'll be easy to run through it. So there are overview screens for the starting dashboard. This one looks identical because it almost is, but this is the ad hoc one that can be edited by anyone that has permissions to the application. There are a bunch of these widgets that you are able to add onto the dashboards and screens. There's trending tools where you are able to see your tags live on that trend screen, as well as alarming notifications that you can set up within the system. Next, the other Launchpad project that we will show off is the OEE one. And this bottom row looks exactly the same because these are Ignition features. So all that's there. But from an application standpoint, its difference is that it is a OEE application that is made for monitoring performance, and it is plug and play. And we'll show you that there's only 2 tags necessary to get the entire application working. It's a combination of overview dashboards as well as line view details. Gives you configurability within the settings to set up shifts and rates by a line level, not just plant level. And it goes into advanced production and performance analytics. And this one looks like an overview screen where you are viewing your lines or machines with line level detail, a production summary that's showing off all of your tabular data of your production, setting screen to be able to set up everything that you need for the application. And that's it. So we're going to get into the demo now, but I strongly want to encourage you of this is all available for you literally right now today. And so I'm going to show you the website where you can get that, but I encourage you just try it out. Download it, check it out for yourself, make it real. And this is something that you could be using for your clients immediately. So you will see this link within the documentation that's coming back from the webinar. But on the website, you can see an overview video of what Launchpad is, which is what we just went through. You can download Ignition. You can download the KPI project, or you can download the OEE project. And again, all of this is free. You can have the trial of Ignition for free. You can have either of these OEE or KPI projects for free. And these are not trials of the Launchpad applications. They are just something that you permanently have to be able to use for your own good. There are videos explaining what each of them do, which is again what we've pretty much gone through. There's a full manual where you have both of the resources, videos of step-by-step instructions. We tried to make this as simple as possible. So literally, if you've never dealt with Ignition before, you will be able to do this today. It is that easy, that simple, and all the documentation and videos and how-tos are there. We even put it into multiple languages. So there's Spanish, Portuguese, French, and English for anybody that needs that. And lastly, there are decks that you can download for each of these if you are selling it to a client. But without further delay, let's actually demo the real system, the real deal. So this is that KPI project, and this is your main screen. We tried to lay out something for you so that you didn't have to think about the UX UI styling of this main screen. You don't have to understand anything about how the Ignition designer works in order for this dashboard to look how it is. And on top of that, we also gave it with a built-in simulator. So you're getting 30 days plus of simulated data that is coming with it immediately, and then it continues to build up as you have this live. And you are able to look backwards because there is that history. All of the screens work. You could go into longer historical timeframes. And all of the KPI screens, the charts, like everything has data that is populated within it, which makes it really easy to show off to a client. We have a lot of people that are using these in their sales demos or on trade show, event, conference floors as demos in their booth, where they're just running it in the background and able to show off what Ignition is. But let me give you a little bit more depth of how one might use this screen. So we'll imagine a few different industries and just talk about how you could use it right away. So the easiest one to imagine, since it's already using the wording, is what if this was on a food and bev plant and we were looking at the daily production of iced tea? So sure, I'm showing I want to do 1900 cases and this is where I'm at on my daily production. I'm able to see my hour by hour chart. I'm able to see a trend. These could be the lines. So right now there's seven. You could have 77 lines or five or 50. It's whatever you want it to be. And as I flip through each of these, it changes to those section of KPIs. So you can show off the metrics about any specific line and then balance of plant type stuff and some other statistics on power. Okay, so that's a manufacturing facility. What if this was solar? Well, these charts are just the same. Think of this in terms of power production, and you're seeing the megawatts that you've produced. And these are the hourly expected versus actuals with a trend. And then what if these were Met stations that I was setting up and I was seeing all of my Met data down here, and this was my balance of plant information and my active power. Same thing could be true of pretend that this is a water wastewater facility and this is effluent flow. And I'm seeing my hourly effluent, and these are just areas. Doesn't have to be named line one. All of this is configurable by you. You could name this digester. You could name this other anaerobic processes. And you could have level and flow and pressure characteristics down below, as well as some tank data down here. So sky's the limit. Set it up however you like. Use it in multiple industries, and then allow your customer to be able to edit anything and add whatever they want. So like I said, this one is ad hoc. I'm going to do it right in front of you right now so that you can see that, yes, we can create a dashboard. We're going to go with a simple gauge and add a tag onto it from the simulator right here, right now. And we're going to use air pressure and save that. And boom, we now have a live dashboard showing off the air pressure. What was that? 15, 20 seconds of what it took to create a dashboard. And just think of this in terms of if you have a customer with an older SCADA system where they're not willing to do a rip and replace of the entire thing to get Ignition in there, this is an opportunity to overlay some really neat dashboards on top of their existing PLCs. All you had to do was connect this air pressure tag to the database, and boom, I'm able to create a dashboard for them. They are able to also edit those dashboards just as easily as what we did. So if they wanted to change the tag on any one of them, they can do that. If they want to change the name, they can do that. Anything is available for them to be able to edit and then present live and present mobile. The next thing that's true is you have access to any of the data that you have brought into it. I can just as easily bring those tags onto the screen and be able to show that off. So this is my same air pressure tag. I can X-trace it. I can see it in a chart with my min, max, average. And this is very easy for them to be able to see the trends of any of their tags. And lastly, there's an alarming component to this where you can set thresholds of either high alarms, low alarms, or anything else that you want to measure, as well as the criticality of it and its state, so that you are able to see what is tripping within the system, be able to acknowledge it, and be able to clear those alarms as a part of the system. So this is yours. You own this. You can set this up today and use it as a part of a client project. And like you see, just because there's 4 screens right now, you could add 10 more to this if you wanted to, or you could modify how any of these work or any of the styling, because at the end of the day, Ignition is completely flexible in that way. All right, next. This is the OEE project. Similar look and feel, different functionality. So this is made to be a performance tracking application. It is OEE, and so it's based on availability, performance, and quality. And sometimes you would refer to this as an MES project, but it doesn't have to be that daunting. This is just a simple way to attach something to a machine or a line and see how's it working, how's it running, and everything is available to you. It automatically tracks in hour, shift, and day performance. So you can just come back and see how it's been running on the day or how it's running on the hour. You can go into the historical, and I want to see how this has been doing this month. And okay, line one has not been doing well this month, so I'm going to dive into that. And I get a line level view with my top production over all the different days of the month, like when did I do best? I can see that of these scores, my availability is what is killing me. I'm experiencing too much downtime. And has that been a trend? Am I still in that kind of trend? Okay, well, yep, this week or last week, what as I put in, I'm still experiencing the same type of effect. Is that consistent across multiple of my lines? Let's go like line five. No, okay, line five is doing good. And this is a capability, again, it doesn't have to be 7 lines. This could be 80 lines. This could be two. It could be whatever you need it to be, and they could immediately go to any of those lines that are displayed there and see real data from that time period. We gave you the same style of simulator where there's at least 30 days worth of data and it continues to accrue. So they could do cool things like come into the production summary and immediately see how all of those lines are performing over any period of time. So I'm going to come back to a month and be able to see that these were my target production counts versus my actual production counts. And I can see my rejects and I can see everything from downtime to my scores. And I started out by saying that this only requires 2 tags, and that is accurate. The only 2 tags that you need is the machine state. So state is going to give you whether it is running, down, or not in production. And from a count is the second thing that you require. So you need some kind of production counter off of the line or machine. And that's it. Literally, those tags are driving everything that you are seeing in this application. You can add a third tag in, and that is the reject counter. But that's it. Literally, 3 tags gets you everything that you're seeing. Let's try something else. That's cool. Is if I go to my lines and I go all lines, this is so easy for a client to come in here and say, what is my worst performing line? And I just sorted by OEE so that I can see the worst. And guess what? It's line one over and over and over again. Okay, well, what is my best performing lines? It's line 7 and 6 and 5. Okay, there's a good smattering of those. And then I could do things like what are some of my lowest amounts of downtime versus my highest amounts of downtime. And yep, that tracks. We already saw in the line view that it was the availability, meaning the downtime, of line one that was bringing its score down the most. And you see it here in all of those different runs. But look at how easy that tool is for somebody to understand what's happening with their facility. Quick tangent. This is based on something that we did in the past. This was a very common sales technique of we would go into craft breweries and we made a control panel that had its own PLC and its own HMI screen and sensors and whatnot. And it was running Ignition on the screen. And we would hook this up to a bottling line. And within one day, it had live data that was flowing into it. And the client was able to see it on the plant floor. And we would leave it there for weeks, sometimes even a month, and come back and be able to show them of, look at what was happening to your availability. Look at what would be able to be improved from a revenue standpoint if you're able to increase this many points of availability or this many points on OEE. And it's a very cool tactic of being able to sell a software system for continuous improvement. This just put the power in your hands of you literally have the entire thing that took hundreds of hours for me to build back in the day. and took a long time for us to build for you to have. This is ready for you that in a matter of hours, you could walk into a plant floor, connect two tags off of a line, and have live software that is able to track the performance of that facility and run a similar sales step. From a setting standpoint, you have the capability of going into any line. So I'm on line one right now, and I can set up multiple shifts with different times. I can use 2 shifts or 3 shifts, and I could come into a different line and have a completely different setup if I just wanted to run one shift on that. I also could have different rates. Different lines, different machines are going to run at different speeds. So I set up a couple here. You could manage and set up as many rates as you prefer and have them individually on any of those lines. You also can have outfeed multipliers, reject multipliers. So if they're coming out in cases, but your production counter is just counting one case and you wanted to have the 8 or 6 units that are in that case, you can have a multiplier of that. And lastly, there's thresholds that you can set of where do you want it to say that it's in bad warning colors versus what is good. So all of that, all yours, all free. And if there's more questions about these, we would love to answer them. And in addition, remember all of that documentation is within that website, and all of the explainer videos of how things work that I went through is going to be back in here too.